Season's greetings and welcome to a special episode of the Great Song Podcast. I'm Rob Alley.
I am JP Mosier.
And we have put together our best moments, funniest moments, most interesting moments.
Some of our favorites.
From the first season of the Great Song Podcast. JP, how you doing today, man?
Fantastic. Just had an amazing sandwich from Jersey Mike's. Philly cheesesteak for me. Original with tons of stuff for you.
So much. I love Jersey Mike's so much.
So good.
So here's what we got for you today. We've taken our best clips from each episode of the Great Song Podcast, and we've compiled them into just one big, yummy pizza of great song goodness for you to devour as you please. So go ahead, sit back, undo your belt, pop that top button, and gorge yourself.
Give yourself a shoe wedgie.
And devour the best moments of Season 1 of the Great Song Podcast.
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. W.C. Handy, won't you look down over me? Yeah, I got a first class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam.
He summarized the song as a song about a Jewish gospel music lover, and he said it was about a pretty literal visit to Memphis, Tennessee. Putting it in that light, I didn't know. I'd never thought about, is Mark Cohen Jewish or Buddhist or whatever. But apparently a lot of people, because of the third verse of the song, the line about, are you a Christian, believe that he was like a born-again Christian. I've never thought that because of that line. Have you?
No, I thought actually the complete opposite.
Yeah.
That he, because of that line, he was that night. But
Exactly.
He's the furthest thing in the world from a Christian.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I always thought I never once gave a thought about. There's nothing in the song that's like, and I'm Jewish, so it's not obvious unless you just know.
That should have been the fourth verse.
Yeah. Hey everybody, I'm Jewish.
Yeah. And then Rod Carew comes out and does it.
But I just always thought this was a song about a songwriter, and basically in him saying, "Man, I am tonight." That he was sort of saying, "Man, I'll be anything for a second."
See, I'll jump straight to that since we're jumping in it. How do you picture Muriel?
I kind of picture Aretha Franklin, to be honest.
I'm completely opposite. The first time when I first was listening to it through my entire childhood, I thought it's some beautiful young girl with an old person name. It's this really hot 20-something-year-old whose parents are just so mean and named her Muriel. And so this is his...
Apologies to all the Muriels out there.
Sorry, Muriel, if you're out there. Sorry, I'm Muriel Mays or whatever you're... anyway, actually, her last name is Muriel Wilkins. I did
Wilkins.
some homework on her, but we can talk about that later. But, I just always thought that was like his pickup line. Tell me, are you... Well, yeah, if you are, I am tonight.
Baby.
That was my initial interpretation.
You're a Christian, I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
What are you doing later?
Yeah.
It charted in the U.S. On the Billboard Hot 100. It peaked at number 13. It peaked at number 12 on the Billboard Adult Contemporary charts and number 7 on the U.S. mainstream rock tracks. Now, think about the difference in 1992 and now that Walking in Memphis was considered mainstream rock.
Yeah.
Where
would it fit now?
It's like 1992 Mark Cohn was basically Foo Fighters now.
Oh gosh.
It's sort of like light rock, you know what I mean? It's just your basic rock and roll is what that was considered in 1992, which I find very amusing.
On bass, the Percaro that did not play bass on the album but is on the video. Somebody else actually played bass on the actual album, but he's in the video. Yeah. It's Mike Percaro. He was playing with Vicki Lawrence at the time from
Vicki Lawrence from Mama's Family?
He
What?
toured with Vicki Lawrence at the time. She had a traveling group, and he played bass for it. So that's
Okay,
why he
man.
was not on this recording.
Wow.
Because he was on the road with Vicki Lawrence.
Okay, man.
My favorite musician on this is the guy that played the recorder. There's a guy named Jim Horn who plays the recorder. I'm looking at the back of the vinyl, and he gets all kinds of credit on here in big notes. So I had to look up some Jim Horn fact.
Hey, of course.
He played on 3 Beatles solo albums, but I cannot find which one. So he played on 3 of the Beatles and not one of the others. So I don't know who he left out. But he played flute with John Denver, and also on the Beach Boys' Pet Sounds album and Rolling Stones' Goat's Head Soup album.
Wow, he played on Pet Sounds.
He did.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Flute on Pet Sounds.
Flute on Pet Sounds. Listen, playing flute with John Denver.
Is rock and roll at its finest. And he's like, I'm going to up that one by playing recorder with Toto.
That's the whitest thing I've ever heard.
Those of y'all that don't know what a recorder is, it's the instrument they teach you in elementary school that looks like a flute, but it's not.
Yeah. It's like a stick with holes in
Yeah,
it.
it's awesome. I had a recorder. Did you have a recorder?
Oh yeah. I was third chair recorder in 6th grade, and I got challenged by one of the other people, and the song that they challenged me to was "You're the Inspiration" by Chicago. And I lost my chair because I played it like it was on the record instead of playing it like it was on the page.
Oh, my goodness.
So I played it more complicated but truer to the recording, and I lost my third chair recorder position to Sally or whoever.
I was going to say, what's the name of the person that
Oh
took your spot?
man, you know
To
what?
Jim Horn.
To Jim Horn, this kid Jim. Oh man.
And then I was like, man, I got to look up some Toto facts. So I typed in Toto facts, and it took me to Toto the dog.
Yeah, I bet.
From Oz. And he never spoke in Oz. So Toto never spoke in the original. His name, the original Toto was Terry the Terrier. And he played, the dog that played Toto made $125 a week.
Sure.
Which back in the day, that's pretty good money because the midgets only made $50 a week.
Oh, wow.
So I went deep on my
They're
Toto.
they're little people, JP.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't be insensitive.
Sorry, they're called yellow brick roses. Okay, he also played in 13 other films. That same dog was in 13 other
Really?
films. Yeah.
Terry the Terrier.
Terry the
man. Get it
Terrier
done.
died at age 11 on June 18th. 2011, my
R.I.P.
birthday.
R.I.P. Terry the Terrier.
Terry.
Oh, wow.
He has a memorial set up for her, Terry the Terrier,
Oh, excuse me.
at Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Broke her foot during the production of Wizard of Oz. In one of the scenes, they had to have a substitute dog come in because
Really?
of a broken
Are you telling
foot.
me in Wizard of Oz somewhere there's a fake Toto?
There's a sub on
man.
a Toto.
I'm not having Toto substitutes.
I don't know. I don't want to know which scene.
Wow. Oh, Lars Ulrich, big fan of the show.
Yeah.
Big fan of the show. Listens every week. He emails me. Doesn't really know how to use a computer much. I think maybe that's why he was afraid of Napster.
He sent us a fax that said, "Great job."
Oh, thanks for tuning in, Lars. We really appreciate it, man. We do.
We don't need no education.
I don't know if I ever had a bad teacher.
Great answer. Nothing negative on this. We're a positive podcast.
Yeah, positivity, man. I had a boring teacher. I had one teacher who, this is great for all the audio nerds listening. This is a great story. I had one teacher who he spoke with a very monotone voice, and he didn't really change the pitch of his voice or the volume of his voice at any time, and it stayed at this one pitch. I'm even changing my pitch more than he did. If he was reading something, he would say, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, and never change pitch the entire class. Okay, so that was bad enough. But the problem where I sat in the room, we had assigned seating, and where I sat was in the back, kind of right corner of the room. The radiator is directly behind me, and it's warm, and it gives off that hum. And then the pitch of his voice, we were in a cement cinder block, painted
Wall.
cinder block, inside the wall. And the pitch of his voice was the resonant frequency of that room. So like, most rooms have a frequency that if you hit it, it will ring in the room. And so literally the pitch that he stayed on just made the entire room where I was sitting go for an hour.
Those of y'all that just turned this on and you heard that noise, that is Rob doing that.
It was awful. I'm going to go back in and edit that and add some delay and echo so the listeners can get a real feeling for how it was.
How miserable.
It was so bad, I can't even remember what the class was. I think it was maybe social studies or history or something. I don't have a clue.
Not PE.
I mean, I was in high school. I should remember what class that was. It was, oh gosh, it was awful.
I had a teacher that would fall asleep. He was narcoleptic.
I had the same guy in college.
Woods?
Yes.
Sayward Woods? Sorry, Sayward Woods, if you're listening to this.
Part 2 is sort of a straight ahead. It's actually, in everything I read about this, and apparently this is true, I've just never thought of it this way, describes the song as having a disco beat.
Yeah, I actually wrote that down here. I don't know if I read that someplace, but I feel like I should do my John Travolta dance when I listen to it.
I have never thought about that.
I think it's very bass driven, and obviously because Roger Waters wrote it, he's probably going to write something that
Great bass line.
And I think it sounds more anti Pink Floyd than anything else that I heard. I don't think it sounds Pink Floyd-ish at all. It's the one that I think it's very out of their.
Apparently, what happened is their producer heard the idea for the song, heard the song, and suggested that they put a disco beat underneath it. He started playing them these hot disco tracks. I think he might have even taken them to like a disco hall or whatever, a discotheque, and let them get a feel for it, and convince them to do it. And I got to say, the producer on the song, who was Bob Ezrin, along with the rest of the band, he had a couple of ideas on this song that without the ideas, it's not the classic it is today. He had the idea to put a disco beat underneath it. That sort of, if you think of, it's almost got the same groove at the same tempo as the Bee Gees. What's the song?
Staying Alive?
Staying Alive. Yeah. It's got that same Billie Jean, like it's all that same sort of groove. I've just never thought about this song in that context, because they're a progressive rock band, and I don't know. I just don't think, that's right, disco, yeah. But I guess it is. But now, and now I play, most of my music is played in like the church community, the worship community, and it's really that same groove that's still ruling. That it's what you would call 4 on the floor if you're a drummer, where you're hitting the kick on every boom, 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 and you're hitting the snare on 2 and 4.
There's just loops and drum hits behind it.
And so it really is. I mean, that's a groove that is still, I'm very much in week to week. So to call it disco has never even entered my mind.
Roger Waters played bass and sang some vocals in unison with David Gilmour on this song. Random things about Roger Waters. I tried to pick some highlights. He is currently in the top 5 richest bass players of all time. He is number 4 on the richest bass players in the world.
Do you have the rest of the list?
I have the top 5.
Okay, all right.
So this will be a guessing game.
If you'll allow me, I'm going to go ahead and say number 1 is Nathan East.
Nathan East did not make the list.
Are you serious?
Think broader, not just bass players. Okay. Think of like musicians that are big that play the bass. Okay. Sting is number 2.
Sting is number 2.
The number 1 is the bass player for probably the biggest band ever. Think of it in that context. He's number 5.
He's number 5.
Adam Clayton's number 5. So you got Sting, Roger Waters is 4, Clayton is 5. You're missing 2.
Oh man.
3's a toughie because you don't really picture him as a bass player, as more of a stage act. I'll help you with it.
Is it Lemmy?
It's Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Oh, of course. Okay.
And number 1, drum roll, Paul McCartney.
Of course.
Number 1.
Oh.
So yeah, I tried to do the list off the top of my head too, and I missed Gene Simmons, and I had Clayton, but further down. I wrote out my top 10. So
I would have guessed a lot of names before I got to Adam Clayton.
So Roger Waters, number 4, wealthiest bass player. A random David Gilmour fact: prior to joining Pink Floyd, he worked as a model. So,
really?
Yeah. So
for some like
I didn't dig in too much.
Alternative.
I would have felt weird looking up David Gilmour model pictures.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't
know how to-
imagine him with glossy, shirtless beach
Yeah.
photos. It's probably
Yeah.
for some sort of like.
Nice Gold's Gym tank top there, Mr. Gilmore. Jean shorts cut off. That a boy.
David Gilmour hitting the gym.
Yeah.
Check out my traps, bro.
Yeah. Maybe like I can picture him as Uncle Rico. That's the closest model picture I could get with David Gilmour.
I am not done changing, out on the run, changing. I may be old and I may be young, but I am not done changing.
I wanted to get your opinion on the way that this album was released. I know we're not
Sure.
talking about albums necessarily, but we always do. It was released in 3 waves of, I believe, 4 songs each.
4 songs.
And this was part of Wave 1, which actually came out. The lead single for Wave 1 came out in late 2016, but Wave
November
1 came out, I think, in February of 2017. And so it would be 4 songs released, and then a month later, I think, the second wave of songs, and then a month later, the third wave of songs. Did you participate in any of that? Did you take the album in that way?
No, I didn't. I waited till the whole thing came out.
You're not a digital guy anyway.
Yeah,
so
I couldn't pull it up on my flip phone and listen to it, so I just waited till the whole actual CD came out.
Yeah.
and got the CD that way. I heard the singles on the radio and on Letterman, different things or not Letterman, the Tonight Show, Letterman.
I was watching on Carson,
That's all right, Johnny Carson.
and I remember when Sullivan had him on.
No. On the Tonight Show, I saw him do his single. I saw Love on the Weekend. So.
Okay. Did you love it on the weekend?
Hey. Something that I've thought about the song as I listened to it too. I feel like there should be a choir singing the changing line.
Oh.
Like he should do the I am not done, and then this big huge choir like changing. But I guess he doesn't.
Maybe for an awards show.
Yeah,
If he
there you
did it
go.
on like the VMAs.
John Mayer with Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir or something like that. Well, you mentioned Montana. You know, he lives in I did some Montana homework.
Did
you want to
you
hear
now?
some random Montana facts?
Absolutely.
Okay, so the largest snowflake ever recorded was in Montana. 15 inches in diameter.
Holy smoke.
15-inch snowflake. Yay, Montana.
Wow.
There's also more cattle than people in Montana. Most dramatic temperature change ever recorded. In 1972, one day it went from negative 59 degrees Fahrenheit to 42 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
One day in 72. Go get a Montana.
Holy cow, that's like almost 80-degree swing.
It's
Or
also-
over 80-degree swing.
It's also the 4th largest state in the United States. You can fit Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New York, Pennsylvania, and the District of Columbia inside of Montana. Do you know the 4 largest states? Do you know the other 3?
Texas, Alaska, California,
Yeah, Alaska's number 1.
and then Montana. Interesting.
then
I mean, I guess so. If you
Texas,
visualize it, it makes sense.
So that was a Montana sidebar.
Yeah, of course you went and did Montana homework. That's
Not
amazing.
Joe Montana.
Not Joe Montana. I was trying to think of a good Joe Montana joke to throw in. I couldn't do it. I was trying to bring in Dwight Clark. I just couldn't. I didn't
Jerry
have it.
Rice,
I don't know.
Steve Young.
Steve Young. Who knows?
There was a producer that asked him to just do a rough mix on this album, and he really liked it, and he ended up mixing Tony Braxton's first album.
No kidding.
So, yeah.
Just another sad love song.
Hey,
back
Tony
in
Braxton!
my
Thanks for
brain.
coming.
Look crazy. Get some more. Sorry.
And she hung around for a little bit. Most of the time, they just come
All
in.
right, go.
Get out of here, Tony. We're-
Overstayed your welcome,
we're done with
Tony.
you.
Every time. Come on. I just thought of a question that I'd like to ask.
Sure, throw it out.
Because Steve Jordan and Pino Palladino have become sort of synonymous with John Mayer. Like
Sure.
they're his most well-known backing band.
Backing
They've
band.
made some of his best music with him. If you could hook up with another, if you were on guitar, I
Okay.
don't care if you want to sing or not, but if you're on
Sure.
guitar, if you could hook up with a bass and drums duo to jam with, to start a band with, who would you want to do? Alive or dead?
Okay, I have to think of stylistically what kind of band it would be first to pick my drummer. If it was like I'll just pick my favorites.
Okay.
Portnoy would be my drummer.
Okay.
Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater would be my drummer. On bass, since I'm not a vocalist, I would want a bass player that could sing.
So you're gonna go
So
McCartney?
I would go Sting.
Oh,
So I would play guitar
yeah.
in the back, and they would be the forefront. It would be the complete backwards of this, where the front person would actually be the bass player.
Okay.
And I would play guitar with Sting and Portnoy, which the dynamic of that band, I have no
be
clue what
very
style
interesting.
we would do.
I was actually thinking more of like a pre-existing duo, like they come together as
Oh,
a
they're a
package.
pair,
Yeah,
and you
so
pick
like
them together.
because you think
Okay.
Jordan and Palladino together.
Gotcha. So
You
it would
know
be
what I mean?
like
So-
Portnoy, John Mayung.
And John Mayung,
okay.
yeah, or-
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna kick them out. Let's think here.
I think of like,
Give me who would be yours?
well, my first instinct, and this is probably just because I was aware of them as a pairing first, would be like Double Trouble.
Okay, well,
you
there
know,
you go. Well,
Stevie Ray Vaughan's
Yeah,
backing
Stevie Ray.
band from back in the day, or even Jack Bruce and Ginger Baker.
Okay.
from Cream.
Cream. Yeah, that's a good one.
You know, just some of these guys that are like, you always see them together. Whether or not they're like necessarily in bands together, but like Nathan East and any drummer, you know,
Yeah.
But like Nathan East and Phil Collins, or
Oh yeah, because
you know
they
what I
really
mean?
did play together.
Yeah, I mean they played
They
together
backed
a
for
lot.
Clapton on
Yeah.
some of those videos. Man, yeah, that's a good one right
Yeah.
there. I like that.
That would be, you could not go wrong.
Yeah,
with
you're
Nathan East
set.
and Phil Collins. You're
set,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're set. I think that one's settled for
Okay,
me.
that's a good one. Yeah, that one wins.
But this was from their seventh album, Escape. I would say their most popular album by quite a bit.
By
right?
far.
Wow.
I have just disclosed the inner liner of the album cover to Rob for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And there is lots of running.
There's lots
in
of running.
Air.
They're like, get it? Escape?
Escape.
Get it?
Escape.
Oh, man.
Great album. Great album. though.
Great album. This album spawned an Atari 2600 game, which
Yeah.
your boy happened to have.
Yeah.
And you were just basically, it was like an early version of one of these games where you just run and run and run as
Yeah.
long as you can. And you try to get out of the way of like shifty managers
Yeah.
and groupies
and stuff. Great game.
Yeah, it was. I played it a lot, and I mean, I guess for an Atari game, it was pretty solid. I don't know. I'd give it a.
I mean, it's no
7 out of 10.
asteroids or anything,
It's no ET. Let me tell you, if you've never played ET for Atari 2600, you're really missing out
Or
on the worst
Space
experience
Invaders.
of your life.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So yeah, second single from their seventh album, Escape. I don't know what the first single was. It could have been any number of things.
Who's
off of
Crying
that.
Now
Who's
is their
crying now?
first
Yeah, right?
No.
What am I thinking of? Who's crying now? What is it? What am I
No,
thinking
you
of?
just sang the riff to. Pause. You just sang that Baker Street riff on saxophone.
Yes.
That's a sax.
What am I thinking of?
Oh,
Oh, I'm terrible.
yeah. Sorry, Jeremy.
Oh, snap. Hold on. I got to cleanse my palate. Okay. So let me explain what just happened. We had to pause our recording here so that I could get this out of my head because I know there was some reason that song got triggered. I was thinking of Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. And I know you know this song, but it's definitely, I was like, as I'm singing it, I'm going, wait, would they have a saxophone solo in a Journey song? And so anyway, I had to figure out what triggered that song. So we went and tracked it down, listened to the lyric right before the saxophone thing.
Another year and then you'll be happy. Just one more year and then you'll be happy. But you're crying now.
Okay, so I hardly think I'm to blame. Okay, no, I'm 1,000% to blame because I should have known better. But you're crying now, and even in the same kind of rhythmic thing as who's crying now? You're crying now. Okay, I forgive myself. You don't have to, dear listener. You do not have to forgive me, but I forgive myself. I'm just out here trying to live my truth. Okay, so leave me alone. Now. Just kidding. Who's Crying Now by Journey went a little something like this.
One love feeds the fire. One heart bears desire. One love who's crying now.
So you see where I could have made an innocent mistake. I mean, something anybody could have done, confusing Journey for Jerry Rafferty.
If I
confusing
forgive him, y'all should too.
confusing a saxophone for Neil Sean. It could happen to you. Don't laugh at me, dear listener. No. Anyway, we know you guys are here to listen to us talk about crocheted bathing suits. But I'm sorry, but I'm afraid we're going to have to get to some music here at some point. Okay, apparently Don Henley has a reputation for being a pretty serious guy. He does not enjoy being trifled with. He is now, like, if you go see Don Henley in concert, you have to give up your phone as you enter.
I didn't know that.
Like, he's kind of a stickler.
It'd be like, what is that if I handed it to him?
Yeah. Never mind. You can keep yours.
You can keep yours, sir. You're okay.
Just hang on to it.
Just play Snake.
Yeah.
Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees. I thought he was pretty good.
Good call.
I've seen them twice.
Good call.
So he made my
Really?
list.
Hold on, pause. You've
Twice.
seen the Monkees twice.
Just two. Well, there's just two.
Two remaining.
Two remaining.
Because Mickey and Davey are both
Well,
no
no
longer with us, right? Mickey?
I saw the Monkees twice. No, I haven't seen Mickey. Sorry, I saw Davey and it's whichever two are alive. I've seen them twice at the Ryman. Sorry, Monkees fans.
I feel like I should know. No, but now I feel like
Peter-
I'm confused. Are Mickey and Davey both dead, or is Mickey still alive?
Let's do some homework. Let's pause and look that up.
Man.
Here we come.
Okay.
Sorry, we had to take a pause break there because we don't know our Monkees trivia as well.
You know,
I have seen Mickey.
It's hard to keep up with the Monkees. Listen,
Only Davey.
Mickey
R.I.P.
Dolenz, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. I thought you were dead.
We'll get you on the next one and interview you.
I feel like you deserve better. I'm like, I know the Monkees just released a new album. Surely Mickey was on it. But then I thought, I don't know. I'm real sorry.
Great singer.
Mickey, I'm very
you're
sorry.
a great
You're
singer.
one of our favorite
You're our
singing
favorite
drummers.
singing drummers. You made the top 5.
Okay, the lyric to the chorus says, you can lay your head back on the ground, let your hair fall all around me, offer up your best defense, this is the end of the innocence. Okay? That line has always felt a little rapey.
Yeah.
Just a little bit rapey.
I wish I would have done that creepy laugh there. That was terribly tough.
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your blind tie affair. The last one to know, the last one to show, I was the last one you thought you'd see there. And I saw a surprise.
This song was actually leaked early by Garth Brooks' mom. Did you hear this?
I didn't know that.
Okay, so Garth's mom accidentally leaked the song to an Oklahoma radio station. And I don't know if it was in an interview or if she just sent it to them. I'm not sure exactly, but she gave them the song before it was supposed to be released. And it caused this big uproar, like people demanding to hear the song, how I got to have this now, immediately, this frenzy. And so it actually caused them to rush production of the single and the subsequent album. They released it earlier than was intended because of the demand for the song that Garth's mom leaked. So, thanks, Garth's mom. A month after Garth's album came out, this song was covered also by a guy named Mark Chestnut, who if you're familiar with 90s country, you may remember Mark Chestnut. He had the album and the song Too Cold at Home.
Dude, how much does he hate Garth Brooks?
Right? Like,
How much does he hate Garth Brooks' mom? Dude, he's got some good your mom jokes.
he could have beat him to the finish line if Garth's
Dude,
mom
I
hadn't
know
leaked
that.
that song. Isn't that crazy?
Is there anything you don't like about the song? Anything at all? Because I have something that I don't like.
Oh, please tell
I'll
me.
give it a thing. I hate the way he sings the word in at the end of that ivory tower that you're living in.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, is he saying in? Is he saying on? Is he trying to be too vocally correct?
Yeah.
The ending of that. Let's take a listen.
Okay,
Listen
let's-
to the way he sings the end of this line.
Hey, I didn't mean to cause a big scene. Just give me an hour and then we'll all be as high as that ivory tower that you're living now.
What
Yeah.
the heck is that?
I kind of feel you.
What the heck?
That
Garth?
doesn't that doesn't deter me from the song. Like I've never thought, man, I hate that. But I have noticed that even as a kid, I was like, why do you do that?
How do you spell that?
Like I think it's one of those things that maybe that note fell in a weird spot in his range. And so if he had pronounced it in, it probably would have come off really nasally. So it would have gone, you're living in.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think it's just he's trying to open his mouth a little bit and make it more full. But it is kind of
Trying to
weird.
reach the masses. Yeah, I don't like that. I have seen Garth. Actually, ironically enough, highlight of my. I don't know if I told you this. I met Garth that night behind the Ryman.
That's what I'm talking. Okay,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
story I'm thinking.
So
of.
same night, I actually met him behind there. Super nice guy, and the only thing I knew to say was, "You're Garth Brooks," and he was like, "Yes." And then he got bombarded, and I didn't even get my moment. No photo. No. I actually, for those of y'all that know me, I still carry a flip phone, so I had my flip phone and had my moment to snap a picture with Garth, but it was a flip phone and it didn't turn out. And then yeah, it was awful. So it's of the sod of the ramen and a random hat. So a cowboy hat. So people believe that it was Garth, but it wasn't even Garth's hat.
Pull up the lyric on this song, read it, like study this lyric. If you're a songwriter, look at every single way. Okay, blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots, ruined your black tie affair. Genius. That's my favorite part of the entire song. Last one to know, last one to show. I was the last one you thought you'd see there. I saw the surprise, the fear in his eyes when I took his glass of champagne. I toasted you, and then here's where the turn is. Like, it honestly, you think he's going to punch this guy in the nose, right? You think this gruff, cowboy has come into this thing.
To win back the love of his life.
Yeah, and he's going to lay this guy out in the middle of a fancy restaurant. Nah. He takes this guy's champagne, and instead of breaking the glass over the guy's head, he's like, you know what? Have fun.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. I'm going to be okay. I'm headed down to the Oasis. You can catch me down there. When this guy's done with you, you can find me down at the bar and I'll be just fine.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I got friends in low places. Such a great turn on a phrase that everybody's familiar with. It's one of those things where occasionally, if you're a writer, you'll hear a song and it'll have an amazing hook that's a play on a phrase that everybody knows, and you go, how did somebody not think of that sooner? How did somebody not come up with that hook until 1990? It's such
Of all the country writers out there.
yeah. I mean, everybody's singing about bars and drinking and whatever.
How did Johnny Cash not write this song?
Exactly. Johnny Cash, George Jones, somebody should have written this song before 1990. Something was being held back for Garth, in the cosmos in order for this song to be made. Because with a phrase as ubiquitous as, friends in high places, like somebody should have turned that around before 1990. That's all I'm saying. It's amazing. And
That's a pretty broad range of this song.
Listen, I broke it down.
Like what's the low note of the song and the high note?
Okay, so this is a surprisingly rangy song. It's sneakily
Garth's
rangy.
not known for range. He's no Mariah Carey, but let's hear this.
Okay, so this song covers 2 octaves plus 1 whole step.
Wow.
So we're in the key of A. Okay.
So what's the low note?
I've got friends in low places, which is
that
a
a
low
low
A. Okay.
Okay.
Where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. And this is the really low note of the song. And I don't even have that note. It's a low E. Okay. So that's an E below that low A. And then your high note is also in the chorus.
Oasis.
I'm not big on social graces. So slip on down to the Oasis. So that's going to be an F sharp if you're in the key of A. So you're talking about from the low E, 2 octaves up plus 1 more whole step to get to that F sharp. Okay, so for comparison, the notoriously rangy national anthem of the United States, the Star Spangled Banner, is notoriously difficult because of the range that you have to be able to have to pull it off right. That's an octave and a fifth. That's 6 whole steps fewer than, or that's a sixth, not 6 whole steps. It is a sixth lower, fewer, smaller than the range of Friends in Low Places. How about that?
You ever heard a really bad national anthem?
Oh yeah.
What's the one that comes
Immediately, it's Carl Lewis.
Yes, Carl Lewis. That's awesome.
Oh man.
No offense, Carl. Fast runner, great at running.
If you don't remember, Carl Lewis, 1992 Olympics.
I don't know.
Late 80s, early 90s, U.S. Olympian. Fantastic. May have had world records, gold medals at the time. Sang the national anthem at an NBA game.
It was a basketball game, yeah.
Oh, it's
Man,
so
it's
bad.
amazing. Look it up. Do yourself a favor. Look up Carl Lewis national anthem.
Do it. Look it up on YouTube. It is well worth your time. It's worth a save. He gets he gets to the high note and
he's
literally
already gone.
he's already it's
bad.
Not any good to begin with. He's not a singer. But he says he goes, and the Rockets.
Regular.
And he doesn't have, and then he says, uh-oh. Oh man, uh-oh. And then it's the national anthem. Like, listen, the national anthem is a hot topic of controversy right now. If you want to talk about disrespecting the national anthem, ladies and gentlemen, Carl Lewis took a big fat poo on the national anthem. He gets to the last line and he literally has the nerve to say this. He goes, I'm gonna make it up to you now. This guy says, I'm gonna make it up to you now. And he goes, and then he tries and realizes he doesn't have it. Changes the melody. Or the land of the free. Feeling like a key change. Yeah.
According to the prophecy.
Let it be done. Are there any songs of this length? I know, like, Hey Jude, when it came out, it was a big deal because it was like 7 minutes long. And I said,
well, the original to this one is like 7 minutes and something.
Right, yeah, that's what even the studio version of this is a lengthy song. Are there any other, like, just crazy long songs that still get airplay? Any long, Layla, I guess, would be one.
Yeah,
it's,
if you include the piano outro, which if you ever listen to Layla and shut it off before the piano thing, we're no longer friends.
No,
we're done. That's
is
the best part of the entire song.
Sacrilege.
Yes.
To not include the piano part of the song. But I heard a radio station do that just a few weeks ago for the first time ever, and I was just enraged, like completely washed over with anger.
And this is why our podcasts that are supposed to be 7 minutes end up being 40 minutes.
Let's
so I hope
not
you guys
kid
are
ourselves.
okay.
This is going to be, I mean, the song itself is 14.
Yeah.
So just,
if we're going to break down every section.
Just buckle in, everybody. We're going to be here for a minute. So this is a long, lengthy album. It is all very good. It includes several tracks that you're still hearing on the radio today, including his version of Baby, I Love Your Way, which has one of the laziest lyrics I felt like I've ever heard, which is, and he's not the only one to do this, but, ooh, baby, I love your way every day. Because it rhymes. And
Show Me the Way is also on here.
That's true. Show Me the Way is going to be the other song that you're still hearing on the radio.
And he's a strict vegetarian. So be aware of that when you go to a Peter Frampton concert.
Don't offer him
a Big Mac. He will not be.
Hey, buddy. Peter Frampton, you want to go grab a steak?
Actually, this Stevie version is the third one listed in order.
Brutal.
Of the name Higher Ground. There's a song by somebody called, who I probably should know for me, Odessa and Naomi Wild as the number one Higher Ground song.
Okay, that's modern. That's EDM.
Different
that's modern.
song. Number 2 is the Chili Peppers song, and number 3 is the Stevie song.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and then immediately followed by Argonaut and Wasp and a John Denver version.
Ew.
Not of this song. Completely different song. Awful song off an awful album. I love John Denver, but please do yourself a favor. Let's actually start with that John Denver clip.
Ooh, okay.
Let's play this. This is not the song we're covering, but listen to this awful song.
Hang with us for a second.
R.I.P. John Denver, but listen to this.
There are those who can live with
are giving up their lives for something that is less than it can be. Some have longed for a home in a place of
So that is not the song we are going to be listening to today.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, you remember on Beavis and Butthead when they would be watching music videos and they would make fun of them? And sometimes it would just go to a clip of them with just horrified faces and they wouldn't be saying anything. That was me listening to that just now.
Yeah.
Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder, born Steveland Hardaway Judkins Morris.
What? Yes.
Steveland,
yes.
like Steve Land. Steveland Hardaway, obviously named after Tim Hardaway.
Yes, definitely.
Judkins, named after Judkins. I don't know. Morris, after Zach Morris. Steveland Hardaway Judkins Morris.
Yes.
AKA Little Stevie Wonder, as he became known in his teens when he started just blowing everybody's minds playing the piano. So there's a Stevie Wonder kind of flop that I love.
Okay.
But it's also, it should have been a huge song because it was his duet with Michael Jackson on Bad. Are you familiar with the song Just Good Friends on the song Bad?
No.
Oh man, okay. First of all, if you look at the track listing of Bad, it's just one banger after
Hit after
another.
hit,
It's
yeah.
like an all-time great list
Absolutely.
of songs. And then in the middle of it is this song that just I love it. It's got amazing harmonies, amazing chord structure in it, and I just love everything about it. I love the story of the song, the story that it tells. I think it's amazing. And then I realized that every historian, I'm watching the 25th anniversary Michael Jackson Bad documentary, and Quincy Jones is on there.
Sure.
And he's talking about every song and how great it is and whatever. And he was like, yeah, let's not talk about that one.
What? They don't like
literally was like, and this literally, I promise, they took this is like a 90-minute documentary on the making of Bad and, its impact and blah, blah, blah. They literally almost just entirely skipped over this duet with Stevie Wonder. It's that derided, and I'm not sure why. I love it. But even Stevie Wonder, they had a clip of him on there. It's like 10 seconds. And he said, yeah, I told him next time we do a duet, I'm writing the song.
3 days after Inversions was released, Stevie was in a car accident. He was the passenger. He was not driving. For those of y'all that know Stevie Wonder, he was not driving the car. His friend John Harris was driving, and he was in a car accident, ran into the back of another log truck, I think it was, or something. A log truck came into the window.
Yep.
He was in a coma for 4 days, and he can no longer smell as a result of this accident. So not
weird.
only think about us that value smell so much. Imagine if we were already 1 sense short, and then they take smell from us.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. And the legend says, the story goes, that this song, Higher Ground, basically awoke him from his coma.
Yeah. Somebody was singing it to him in the hotel or in his hospital bed?
In his hospital room.
Yeah.
His tour manager started singing Higher Ground. He was trying to talk to him and get him to respond. Yelled in his ear, couldn't get him to respond to anything, and eventually started singing Higher Ground loudly in his ear. And they said Stevie's fingers started moving in time with the song, and that was the first response he had given at all since the accident.
Yeah.
And that was his first sort of sign of that he was going to make it through. I got to bring some correction on this. Because I've heard you say, and the first time I just didn't think anything of it. The second time I heard you say it, I was like, I got to address this. The album is not Inversions. It's Intervisions.
Oh my gosh.
Intervisions. It's all one word. It's done as all one word, but it is not Inversions. It's Intervisions.
Oh gosh.
How
We got
about
to do
that?
this whole podcast over. What the heck?
Hey, we all make mistakes. Okay. So,
I haven't even written down right. I just can't read.
well, now you know how Stevie Wonder feels.
We cannot post this.
Oh, come on now. Come
Oh,
on.
dude, no.
We're going to make it through. All right.
Do you know anything? Did you do any homework on the Red Hot Chili Peppers version?
No,
Or
did you?
anything? It's on Mother's Milk, which
Yep.
is an awful album. It's terrible. There's a song on there that I was so excited to hear because it's called Magic Johnson, and I'm a huge 1987 Lakers fan. but it's just as crude as any song called Magic Johnson is. So don't listen to that, please. If so, hide the children. Do not listen to Magic Johnson on Mother's Milk.
So it's what you really
Oh my
expect
gosh.
it to be coming from the Chili Peppers.
From the Chili Peppers,
Coming
yeah.
from the guys who wore a sock on stage.
Yeah, right.
How many bad like teenage church bands have covered this song? How many do you
Oh,
think?
man.
Like just
Yeah.
millions,
A
right?
lot,
Just
yeah.
so many of them. And then not really even thinking about, it's one of those things where you don't think about the lyrics, you know, you
You're like,
just
here's
go,
a song I can play in church.
here's a song. I
Here's a
think we
song I
could
can
get
play
away
in
with
youth
it.
group. Yeah.
And so, or play higher ground. And then you start like somebody listens to the lyrics and like taps them on the shoulder. And they're like,
You're on probation.
do you know what,
So I'm going to ask you to not play next week.
do you know what you're singing? This isn't like, we don't hold to these teachings. Anybody. Sorry.
So you can do a Switchfoot song.
Yeah,
instead.
just do Switchfoot like everybody else, and we'll be fine. What's that? I heard Chris Tomlin's got a new one.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Let's just be safe. The opening bits of "Too High" on side one of Intervisions has this sort of melody that I've never heard anything like it before nor since. It's really unique, and every time I hear it, I go, "Man, that's cool. Like that's good. That's solid." And to be able to pull it off, every time the way he does is very cool because it's something you kind of have to think about. Like you kind of have to hear it coming and then be able to execute it. So mad props to Stevie Wonder. I know you're out there listening. I know you ain't reading.
We have made way too many blind references.
Jeez,
All right,
why?
okay.
We're going to get canceled for this.
No.
This is free and we're still going to get canceled.
We'll push this way out. Ronnie Millsap's blind.
Oh, good call. There's a stranger in my house.
Andre Bocelli, do you know he was blind?
Yes. Because he kind of always looks lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God,
okay.
we're done.
I got to go back though. If we're gonna be mean, I'm just gonna be mean all the way because I used to always think when I was a kid, Ronnie Millsaps had this song on the radio called "Stranger in My House." He had several big hits. He was a huge country artist in the 80s. But there's a lyric. It's there's a stranger in my house. This is the chorus, so he says it multiple times. There's a stranger in my house. There's somebody here that I can't see. And I always went, well, no, dumb, man.
Oh God.
Do you like, surely these guys have a sense of humor about all these,
Throw
because
it in
there's
there.
lyrics that you throw out all the time about seeing and visual stuff. They've got to have a sense of humor about this, right?
You gotta go with.
I remember, do you remember Jenny Owens?
Yes, I ran into her. Did I ever tell? Like literally ran into her. I was at, don't hold me for this, I was at an Avalon concert.
Hey, I proposed to my wife after an Avalon concert.
Oh my gosh, we were just becoming best friends. And I'm walking through the door, bam, hit her with a door. No, and she was like holding out her hand, like just said Jenny, and I grabbed her hand out of there and shook her hand.
Wow.
Jenny Owens.
The story goes, now I've not been able to verify this in my research, but this is the story that I understood to be true about this song. That in writing for this album, they had taken their songs for it to their record label, and the guy at the record label said, "There's not a breakout hit on this album yet. There's not a breakout. There's not a hit on this that's going to get massive radio airplay, and we need a hit." So, kind of incensed about that, John Popper then turns around and writes "Hook," which is essentially a snarky, very meta-textual, like it breaks down the fourth wall about songwriting in 100 different ways. And basically this song is a commentary on itself that talks about the fact that as long as I sing with inflection and with passion in my voice, and we give you something that is familiar and comfortable to you, that you will listen to it and you will like it and you'll call your radio station and have them play it.
Yeah, it's basically no substance, but it doesn't matter because the hook brings you back.
Right.
Like, doesn't matter.
It's basically they take this entire song to tell you we're not saying anything and we're not breaking any new ground at all, and we're telling you that we're not telling you anything, and you're not going to care, because if we do it the right way and we push all the right buttons, it doesn't matter. You're going to want to hear it again anyway, knowing that part of this song is our acknowledgement that we don't think you are a discerning enough listener to even care that we're just feeding you crap.
On drums, Brendan Hill, drums and percussion. He lives in Bainbridge Island, Washington now, and owns a pot store, not old
Not
time
surprising.
pottery. Not old time pottery. Do you know
Right.
any other like pottery stores? I was trying to think of a reference. I was like, old time pottery.
Yeah, Old Time Pottery is
That's
the only one I
can think of.
know. We live in Tennessee, so like you drive into like Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, and you have the Old Time Pottery like outlets and whatever, just big red signs that say Old Time Pottery. Yeah, that's Pottery Barn.
Pottery Barn. Okay,
Although they don't, do they sell actual
I don't know.
pottery?
Never
Don't
been
they
in.
sell like beds and stuff?
I don't hang out at the
Anyway.
Pottery Barn that much.
Hey, let us know if you're a pottery dealer
If
and
we
you'd
were-
like to sponsor the Great
Yeah, I was
Song
about to say,
podcast.
if we were close to a sponsorship, we'll take either one of you. Old Time, Pottery Barn, Moss Pottery. We don't
pot store,
That's
Mr.
right. Chattanooga Pottery.
Hey.
It doesn't matter. And on vocals, guitar, and harmonica, John Popper collects weapons, firearms, swords. He has a $10,000 cannon from the Civil War.
Wow.
He has a cannon from the Civil War worth
Look,
$10,000.
let's be honest. Let's be honest. If you looked at John Popper, especially in like early mid 90s, if you looked at John Popper and started just guessing things about him, you would get to collect swords pretty early in that list. I think,
Yeah.
like it would not take long
Yeah.
to get to like goes to Renaissance fairs, collect swords. You would get there way before
Dungeons
you.
and Dragons undershirt.
Yes,
probably.
absolutely. You would get there much faster than you would get world-class harmonica
Rock and
player.
roll star.
Like one of the best harmonica soloists to ever grace the instrument. You would get to collect weaponry
Early in the
much
process.
sooner than you would get to that.
I was just I looked up a few songs that reference Peter, or that are kind of Peter Pan related. This one I didn't realize was about Peter Pan until I looked it up. Celine Dion's It's All Coming Back to Me Now is apparently about a middle-aged Wendy in her 20s remembering the Peter Pan story.
No
Never
way.
knew that till I just started looking up stuff that, songs related to Peter Pan, and I went pretty deep and I looked this one up.
I hate Celine Dion.
Yeah, well, I put that one in the middle because I wanted to end with Metallica, Enter Sandman. Obviously,
yeah.
Take My Hand Off the
Okay.
Never Never Land.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
yeah.
Little Peter Pan reference.
Interesting note. It's all coming back to me now. I can't remember if we've talked about. I feel like we hit the song that it was written
Written for Meatloaf?
for, or at least by his collaborator, Jim Brickman. Is that right?
Jim Brickman's a piano player.
Oh shoot, Jim Steinman.
Okay.
Jim Steinman, the guy that wrote tons of stuff with Meatloaf. He wrote "I'll Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That." And then if you think about
This is the same
if you think about
concept.
that song in that context, you
Same
go,
video.
Oh, of course. Like I could just as easily hear Meatloaf singing this song as Celine Dion. Is that the? There were days when the sun was so cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean it's very operatic in its delivery, and
She's
it's
all
got
spinning
that.
around in a dress. And
Yeah.
That's just
oh
probably
man,
somebody
that's
called it on
about
bike.
Wendy.
Yeah, it's about
That's
middle-aged
insane.
Wendy, Peter Pan.
Wow. Now, I'm angry because I'm going to have to force myself to go back and listen to a Celine Dion song, and that's something I just never hoped I would have to do again. Well, that's heartbreaking. Man, okay. And what was I'm sorry, that Metallica was the last one.
Yes,
Okay, Off to
Metallica.
Never Never Land. Yeah. Whoa. That was James Hetfield. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Hey,
I'm
that is
sorry.
good.
I know you
Man,
got to
that
run,
gets-
but I appreciate you coming by. All right, man. It's been a while since we had a special guest. So
Yeah,
it's
we used
good
to have
to
special guests stop by all the time. Thanks for
Good to-
sticking your head in there, James.
Thanks, James. Good to
Next
see
time,
you.
bring Kirk Hammett. We like him better.
I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot no deputy. Oh no, oh. I shot
Bang. That sheriff is dead. That's all I know. There's some question about who shot the deputy. I think that is probably the mystery surrounding the whole song.
But we know who didn't shoot the deputy.
No, it was not. If you believe Bob Marley and if you believe Eric Clapton, it wasn't them.
And if you believe Warren G.
If you believe Warren G., who has a surprisingly decent cover of this song.
Oh, we'll touch on that later. I got some Warren G nuggets.
Also, I'm going to go ahead and say that if you asked Shaggy, he would probably say that it was not him either.
Yes, it was. Oh, well, good job on that. It wasn't.
I think if you asked Shaggy, he would probably say, it wasn't me.
If you ask Shaggy anything, that's the answer to his
I'm going to say it like this. I wasn't me.
That is Rob doing Shaggy.
No, we got Shaggy
Oh, we
in
have
studio.
Shaggy, music, special guest Shaggy.
Shaggy, it's good to see you, buddy. How you been? I just want to happy to be here.
Not Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
No.
Shaggy from.
I can't. Can you do Shaggy from
Mr.
Scooby
Box-
Doo?
Oh man, I look like him.
I feel like you should be able to do that pretty well.
Sorry.
I'll tell you this, and I'm just going to say it. This might not be a popular opinion, but I'm just going to say it and confront you with the truth. If you believe Eric Clapton and you don't believe Bob Marley, you're a racist.
There's something wrong with you.
Congratulations.
Robert Nesta Marley would
Nesta.
not. Nesta.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was actually his parents called him Nesta. Or his mom called him Nesta, but his friends told him that sounded too girly, so he went to Robert, aka Bob Marley.
Wow.
Aston Francis Family Man Barrett.
Wow.
Family Man actually at the time of this recording had no children, but they called him Family Man because he was the father of the band. He basically ran the band.
Interesting.
And if you listen to Marley's version of I Shot the Sheriff, my favorite part is the bass, the way it drives the song. I
Yeah.
love the way Family Man, Aston Francis Barrett, plays the bass. And ironically enough, Family One now has 41 children.
41.
From 0 with the Wailers to 41.
Wow. Do you think he was just like, well, you know what? One of these days I got to start living up to this
Let's
nickname.
do this. Let's do this.
I am assuming that as you read his name out loud, Family Man is in quotes. That
Family
was a
Man is in
nickname.
quotes. It's not a real name.
Okay.
Aston Francis Barrett, but Family Man. And for those that were really close to him, they could get away with calling him Fams. But I'm not on that level yet. So we'll just go with the name in quotes. Family Man. Is the deputy even dead? He said he may not even be shot.
That's a good question.
He could have left Barney.
That's true.
All five could be running around.
It actually doesn't say that anybody actually did shoot the deputy. He's just saying
He said, I didn't.
I didn't shoot him. It doesn't say somebody shot the deputy, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Welcome back, Shaggy.
It wasn't
We missed
Shaggy
you.
either.
Thanks for coming.
All right, see you later, Shag.
Thanks, Shaggy.
All right, we're going solo, girls.
Of a dead celebrity,
Deceased.
he's number
Maybe.
6 on the deceased list. Yes, of monetary value.
Really?
Yes, he's number 6.
Is this musicians or like,
Celebrities? Period. Celebrities.
Wow.
Number 6. How many do you think you can get? I've got the top 7 because I wanted to know just who he beat out. I'll give you number 7, just who he beat out. Dr. Seuss. Theodore Seuss. Yeah.
Wow.
I think his last name's Gillisley or something like Gillis.
Okay.
I should have written that down. But Dr. Seuss, number 7.
Okay.
So nice job,
Okay, so
Dr. Marley.
I got to think outside musicians.
Think outside the musicians. Let
Are
me
there any
see how many
musicians in the top 6?
There's 1, 2.
Okay, I'm going to guess for those 2, Elvis Presley.
Elvis actually is number 4.
Number 4.
There's 3 in the top 5. So you got Elvis number 4.
Is this post Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
So that's.
Are there any other musicians?
Michael Jackson's number 1.
Okay.
So there's number 1. You got 1 and 4. Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley. There's 1 more musician.
I'm going to guess Frank Sinatra.
That would be. Is Frank Sinatra dead?
Yeah.
Just go. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. No, he did not make this list. But it's a current, well, semi-current deceased.
Okay.
Within the past 3 years.
Oh no, I wouldn't.
Prince.
Oh.
Number 5.
Yeah, within the past year I think.
Yeah.
So Prince. Okay.
Prince.
So that leaves.
That leaves 2. That leaves number 2 and number 3. Number 2 is I wouldn't know he's mostly known for his cartoons on movies, mainly around Christmas time. Charles Schultz.
Oh, really?
Peanuts guy.
Wow.
Yeah, Charles Schultz.
Look at Bob Marley and Charles Schultz building an empire.
Oh my goodness. They are
Jeez Louise.
racking up the dough. Number 3, golfer.
Jack Nicholas?
The other
No,
one.
he's alive.
The other one.
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer. I actually
Wow.
offered Rob a Ronald Palmer when he came in tonight, but he declined and went with the water.
Wow.
Yeah, known for the drink, the Arnold Palmer, and
Man.
the golfer, number 3. So there's your top 6, 7 if you include Seuss, Michael Jackson, Charles Schultz, Arnold Palmer, Elvis, Prince, and then Robert Nesta Marley.
Wow.
Number 6.
That seems like a really strange name to be included in that
In
list.
that list, that's right.
I Shot the Sheriff. I'm astonished by this. I Shot the Sheriff is Eric Clapton's only number 1 hit in the United States. That's shocking to me. The career that he's had since the 60s has
Not Layla,
not Layla,
not Wonderful Tonight,
not Wonderful Tonight.
not Mainline Florida, which is the last track on 461 Ocean
I mean,
Boulevard.
After Midnight. I mean, I got to see Clapton live a few years ago,
I was at that show.
and it was hit after hit after hit after hit for
After Wallflowers?
2 hours. He didn't even do Layla. He did so many songs. He left out Layla because I don't know if there wasn't time or if he's just sick of it. But I would just think, surely one of those other songs went number 1. No, it's I Shot the Sheriff and nothing else. One thing you probably notice kind of immediately is that the melody is a little different. Marley's version starts out, I shot the sheriff, and sheriff goes down. And Clapton's version literally just flips those notes. I shot the sheriff. Same notes, just reverse order. And then what becomes the rest of the melody line in Marley's version is, but I did not shoot the deputy. Clapton's is, but I did not shoot the deputy. It's basically takes Marley's version and makes it a harmony part to what Clapton's version becomes. But I did not shoot the deputy. And if you could literally sing Marley's line over the top of it and you're singing in harmony with Clapton's
Are they in
version.
the same key?
I believe they are in the same key. They're very, very, very close.
Albie Galutin, he co-wrote all the Bee Gees stuff. Staying Alive, Not Fever, You Should Be Dancing. Okay, listen to all these people he played with. I was writing down the list and then I noticed the similarity. Diana Ross, Dolly Parton, Olivia Newton-John, Barbara Streisand. I'm like, wait a minute, these are all
women.
ladies.
Yeah.
All ladies. So I got through this whole list. Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Is he like a pimp or what? And then at the end, Kenny Loggins, which can be maybe character. I don't know. I'm a Kenny Loggins fan. So, and he is currently a technology executive at Sony. And he's a big guy
Interesting.
there. So
What's his
player-
name again?
Albie Galutin. And
Albie
Albie, if you're
Galutin.
listening and I botched your name, it's Albhy. I'm going to go with Albie. It could be Albie, but I'll go with Albie. So sorry, Albie. Great piano work on I Shot the
Albie
Sheriff.
Galutin. I've had to stay away from his stuff. Most of his stuff that he plays on, I can't listen to
Because you're gluten free.
because I'm a gluten intolerant.
Yes.
Oh man,
That's awesome.
I got this gluten allergy. And it
That
just,
was so good. How did I not pick up on that? That's where you were going.
but overall, just a really fun song, a great song. I prefer the Clapton version,
I prefer the Marley and the Wailers version.
and nobody prefers the Warren G version,
Except for maybe Nate Dogg.
except for maybe Nate Dogg. Which one is Warren G's dead? Right? Didn't Warren G die a few years ago?
Probably.
Here's what I know. I know
Snoop's
either Warren
alive.
G, Snoop living,
Alive and kicking.
Snoop alive.
He did a show with Kid Rock the other night here.
Really? I bet that was something.
Yeah.
Either Warren G or Nate Dogg died, and Yahoo posted the picture of the other one. So they had the headline, and I think it was Warren G that died.
Look it up on your special phone.
Okay, all right, hang tight 1 second.
Let's look it
I'm
up.
going to look this up while we're talking about it.
Play Regulator while you look that up. Play a sampling of
Why don't you
Regulator.
just give us a tasteful rendition? No?
No.
Okay.
I really thought you were about to hit the play button
No.
on the cassette player over there.
No, I don't have it. Okay, so Warren G is apparently still alive. Nate Dogg died March 15th, 2011. And when he died, they posted a picture of Warren G on Yahoo. And so it was very confusing. I mean, 6 years later, I still don't know which one's dead and alive. So apologies to Warren G. I know you're listening. I know you're a big fan of the podcast, so
Thanks for the support.
Thanks for the support. I apologize for saying that you were.
I will
dead.
sing Regulator next time, out of nowhere.
Next
It
time.
won't even be prompted.
Special edition acoustic a cappella version of Regulate. Got to be handy with a steel, if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Rob's drinking his Mountain Dew Ice,
Yeah.
aka Sprite.
Okay, it's just Sprite. I don't
More
know.
like upper 10.
They're like they called up Sprite and they were like, "Hey, can you just put some of your stuff in our bottles and like I don't know, would like just let us keep the money or?" And apparently Sprite was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
It's no Mountain Lightning, but it looks pretty tasty.
Dr. Thunder,
Dr. Thunder.
Doctor. I bet you've encountered in your day some great generic
yeah.
cola names.
You want to hear my Dr. Pepper list?
Yes,
let's see.
please.
We got Dr. Wow. That's the one that's at Food City. We got Dr. Thunder, Dr. Perfect. I think that's one from Kmart, maybe, or something. Dr. Perfect.
Yeah.
My favorite one ever. I found it at a beach somewhere. It must have been Florida. It was called Dr. Schnee. Like,
No, it was
I
not.
promise. I still have the can. It still had like 5 E's. Carrie Hooper, if you're listening out there, you can verify that we drank a can of Dr. Schnee, and I have an unopened can in my bedroom still. I'm going to bring it next week and show Rob the
Oh,
Dr.
my
Schnee
word.
can.
If you look up Life is a Highway on iTunes, and I'm probably on YouTube too, I'm guessing, but definitely on iTunes, the first version that comes up is the Rascal Flatts version. And on a scale of 1 to 1,000,000, I hate the Rascal Flatts version 50 million. And you can listen to them side by side, and you could argue that they're virtually identical. You could make the case that they didn't do anything different. But let me tell you, they murdered, not in a good way, destroyed the soul of Life is a Highway with the version that Rascal Flatts covered for the movie Cars, the Disney movie Cars, which hit number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. Their version charted almost as high as Tom Cochran's original version. It sold over 3 million copies in the US. But man, do I hate it. And let me tell you why. First of all, what do you think about it? Where do you stand? No judgment.
No, well, I'm a big Larry the Cable Guy fan, so I'm just
Listen, we watch Cars in my house every day. I have a 2-year-old, and every morning the first thing he wants to see is Cars. So I've heard this song. It should have grown on me by now. It will never. I refuse.
I don't hate it. Like I don't hate it with the passion that you hate it.
I knew from the first line when the vocals came in that I was going to hate it. Okay. Because of the rhythm in which they sing the first line. So the original version, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Love's like a road that's traveling on. There's one. Okay. Right. And the Rascal Flatts version goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Love's like a road that you're traveling on. And I'm like, ooh.
So the like is on the
Get
downbeat.
back to your show choir
Yeah.
and stop ruining this American Canadian classic. It just bothered me immediately.
Yeah.
And then they get to the super chippy, super chipper, life is a highway. And like, get your auto tune off this song and stop singing it.
Their
like,
windows up, air conditioner on.
Yes, exactly. In their Mercedes.
Their
like
luxury car.
yes, like, stop it, man. And then the other thing that I don't
Turn those heated seats on. Yes.
Oh man, that's right. I feel like Tom Cochran's Life is a highway that was paved 40 years ago, and Rascal Flatts' Life is a highway that was paved yesterday, and it's perfectly smooth, and all the lines are pristine and white, and you know, yes, that's a perfect way to put that. I'm not going to go into the other stuff I hate about their version. It'll take me a full half hour to just
Next
talk
week
about.
we'll be doing God Bless the Broken Road and everything we hate about it. Just kidding.
That's right. I'm Rob, and this is JP, and welcome to the We Hate Rascal Flatts podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about why Rascal Flatts sucks, why we think they suck, and why we think you should too. And why, if you like Rascal Flatts, you suck.
This is Kenneth Spider on bass. He was in a band called Streetheart that had a song called Action, and they do a cover of Rolling Stones' Under My Thumb. And live, he has a 15-minute bass solo.
Whoa.
15 minutes. I didn't watch all of it, but
Was it good?
it's 15 minutes. I mean, what could you do? If you're good, unless you're Victor Wooten.
That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Like, you could watch Victor Wooten, Jaco Pastorius
Yeah.
for 15 minutes. This guy.
He then went into being Loverboy. So that kind of tells, he's good, but he's not 15 minutes good.
Okay.
He's
All
a
right.
minute and a half. He's Stefan Lessard from Dave Matthews' Time bass solo good.
Okay.
A minute
Yeah,
or two.
yeah.
But not anyway. But good bass player nonetheless, Kenneth Spider. I know you're a big fan of the podcast, so thank you for listening.
Maybe he provided the sound system for the band.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So they had to indulge
He
him.
carried all this in.
Yeah,
This is his
like,
gear.
just
Let's
give
give him
him
his
his-
section.
yeah.
That's right. We'll go have a coffee, or whatever it is you Canadians drink.
And who can resist a good chord harmonica solo?
Yeah.
It's not a John Popper, Stevie Wonder solo. It's just chords. Bob Dylan. Who doesn't love that?
Bob Dylan, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you coming by and playing a solo for us.
Your harmonica, I think it needs some work.
Most of our
It's not quite right.
impersonators, most of our guests that stop by typically talk. Bob just brought his harmonica.
He just brought his harmonica. He's not. He's got some laryngitis.
Yeah.
Not feeling well. So
Tom, in 2007, ranked the #1 celebrity musician golfer. So I started looking through the list of 2007 list of musician golfers that I would know. I knew #4, Alex Lifeson of Rush. But currently, probably the best musician golfer is a guy named Kenneth Bruce Gorlick, or Kenny G.
wow.
He is by far the best handicap. There's a website where you can look at musician golfers, and it puts their handicap off to the side.
That's awesome.
And Kenny G is leaps and bounds above all the other musicians as a golfer.
No kidding.
So if you're in a select shot golf tournament and you have a chance to team up with Kenny G, he's your guy.
That seems right. Kenny G strikes me as a guy who probably owns a lot of white pants. You know what I'm saying? You can look at him and kind of go, I bet you're pretty good at golf.
He pulls a T from behind his ear. Here you go. You need to clean your teeth.
There's something wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is. Something's wrong with our eyes.
I have a theory about Aerosmith. I want to throw it at you. I'm just going to throw it at you, and let's just see what you think about this.
Okay.
I think Aerosmith are the hard rock Beatles.
Okay, explain.
I think if Paul and John and company had stayed a band for 30 more years, that they could have eventually turned into Aerosmith.
Okay.
That if maybe they had done maybe if they had done cocaine instead of LSD,
They chose the wrong drug.
maybe they got into the wrong drug. But no, I feel like there's so much sort of DNA crossover between these two bands. The way they write, the kind of songs they do, the way they, their chord progressions. I just feel like Aerosmith is the hard rock version of the Beatles.
I am going to completely go against what you say because I think Aerosmith reminds me so much of the Rolling Stones.
Really?
Because I think Mick Jagger and Steven Tyler look alike. I think they're similar the way they look. I think their vocal stylings are similar in some regards. So not only am I going to go against what you're saying, I'm gonna go the opposite direction and say they're their rivals.
Well, why don't you guys tell us what you think? How about
give us
that?
is Aerosmith more Beatles or more Stones?
More Beatles or Stones. Follow us out there at Great Song Pod on Twitter, or leave some comments in the description, in the the comment section thing of the podcast thing. We do podcast. You make comment. Tell us Beatles, Stones, Aerosmith. Okay.
So the drum that he's playing there, that's actually Steven Tyler playing a bass drum that he stole from his high school marching band.
No.
He went back to his high school and stole it. Didn't ask for it. With help, snuck in and stole a bass drum from his old high school.
Wow.
And played it right there.
And so, okay, the thing that strikes me about that story is, other than it's hilarious, is it's 1993.
Steven Tyler can go ask for it.
He
He
can-
can borrow it.
Yeah.
But no, he went and stole it out of the high school marching band.
He had to be at least 40 by this point.
I picture him with his hat, sneaking in, wearing sunglasses.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. That's when you know somebody is rock and roll to the bone.
Exactly.
They don't bother going through proper channels, even when it would be, of course, we would be honored for you,
We would love to
Mr.
donate
Tyler.
you this.
Yeah.
And no, stole it.
That's hilarious. At first, I thought you were going to say, when you said it was his high school snare that he stole, I thought you meant for a second that he had like stolen it in high school and
kept it. No, he went back and stole it for this recording.
A middle-aged Steven Tyler breaking into his high school to steal their kick drum, to use it for 4 notes. Their
Yeah.
big concert bass drum is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's pretty rock and roll. I feel like the Ramones would be proud.
Yeah.
You know, the Sex Pistols would be proud of that. Everybody knows that one guitar player who is like a friend of theirs or whatever, and they can play, like they have the finger knowledge of like the blues scale, and they'll play, but they don't like know what they're playing.
I don't feel like he listens to what he plays.
I just feel like he just starts playing.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
and it's
Now, when he does stuff on purpose that's melodic, like I think of like Hole in My Soul.
Now I do like the guitar thing he does at the end that sounds like a siren,
Yeah.
which isn't a solo. I
Yeah.
guess it's kind of riffy,
And those-
but it fits in the song.
Both of those things that we just mentioned could be production ideas.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and give him credit for those.
Sorry if I was
But-
too hard on you, Mr. Perry.
No,
Great job on
I'm-
the end, but I just don't like you as a guitar
100% with
solo.
you. As a lead guitarist, I'm not a fan. I feel like a lot of times his stuff is buried in the mix because it's just sort of him going and there's not much like sing me.
Yeah, sing a riff. Yeah,
sing,
that's good.
Sing me
That's good. Or
any
sing a
Joe
solo.
Perry lead line.
Yeah, that's good.
Other than when he's being slow and melodic, like at the end of this one where he's that's the only stuff you can sing back because most of it is just I don't want to say it's nonsense, but there's no language to it. There's no speech to it.
That's good. I like that.
He's the opposite of B.B. King. B.B. King was like every phrase, everything is a sentence, and I'm telling you a story. And Joe Perry's like,
I have a great B.B. King tie-in to that.
Well-
That's so funny you said that because Joe Perry is left-handed but plays right-handed, and so does B.B. King.
what?
Yep, and there's 2 others that I did a little bit of research, but I was like, I wonder if there's anybody else that's left-handed but plays right-handed. So, like, they have a regular, like his
they
dominant
don't play-
hand is his left hand.
But they don't play upside down.
No,
just
they
straight
play.
learn to
They play
right-handed.
like a regular right-handed guitar players. B.B. King, same way. Dwayne Allman, same way, and Glenn Fry. All 3 are left-handed, but they
No
play
kidding.
right-handed.
Wow. Man, that would be so hard.
I'm thinking like trying to play left-handed, like it just feels wrong.
yeah,
Like even if the guitar was, I don't know.
that makes me want to see if I could learn to play left-handed and there's no way. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. Joe Perry, you're a better man than I.
Yes.
If you can play lead guitar right-handed and you're left-handed, then
Great
mister,
job.
you're a better man than I.
Great job to you. He's actually created Joe Perry's Rock Your World hot sauce, which is featured on a quesadilla as an appetizer at every Hard Rock restaurant. That is one thing
What?
you can get at every Hard Rock. You can go in and get a Joe Perry quesadilla, which features Rock Your World hot sauce.
One quick note while we're talking about that line that we discovered in researching this, even just today, right before we
Oh, yeah.
started. that line, if you can judge a wise man by the color of his skin, then Mister, you're a better man than I, it's not a direct quote, but it is a pretty direct reference to the song You're a Better Man Than I by the Yardbirds.
Awful song.
Awful. It's just weak sauce. But the lyric is not bad. The lyric is pretty good, but the song itself just feels kind of wimpy, especially after you've been listening to this.
Yeah.
And then you go back and listen to it. We're not sure what iteration of the Yardbirds that is. They had some amazing, they had Clapton, they had
Jeff
Beck, they had Jimmy Page, all at one point in time or another. But this sounded like they had Ron from Circuit City on lead guitar. But
That's awesome.
but anyway, anyway, that line is a pretty direct reference to that, though. So if you know I'm not going to bother because I don't really want to know. What if it was Eric Clapton?
Yeah.
And we would just be sad.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to know. But if you must burst my bubble, you can let me know
tell us
who
who-
played lead guitar on "You're a Better Man Than I" by the
The
Yardbirds.
Yardbirds.
That's astonishing breath control. That's crazy. Breath control, not birth control. I don't think Steven Tyler really had any interest at all in birth control, as far as I know.
That's some Kenny G cyclical breathing
Kenny
going
G,
on right there.
yes, Kenny G. You know what? No,
No,
We're
no.
that would be the ultimate slap in the face to Aerosmith. Probably would be to take us out with some Kenny G, who's actually, you know what, pretty funny guy. Not gonna lie, I followed him for a period of time on Twitter. Pretty funny guy. I heard him in some interviews. Kenny G.
I'm
So
gonna lose some cool points, but I've seen him live, and he's funny live.
Really?
Yes. He cracks on himself, like he knows his.
he's self-aware.
He's self-aware and comes out in the crowd. I went and saw him at the Symphony in Nashville, and it was a good show.
Wow.
Please save this. Save this.
All the rock and roll just left this
Oh,
room.
no,
It got sucked out of here like in the vacuum of space when we started talking about seeing Kenny G at the Symphony.
Oh man, play a
Steven
good
Tyler is
Aerosmith.
crying somewhere. Oh, he's
man,
crying.
that is crazy.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, we're
Amazing.
really living on the edge.
Shut up and dance.
Shut up and dance.
Baby, I'm amazed the way you love me all the time. And maybe I'm afraid of the way I love you. Baby, I'm amazed the way you pulled me out of time. You hung me on the line.
Today we're going to be talking about Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney, most
The one.
notably of Paul McCartney and Wings,
Absolutely.
for those of you that are big Wings fans
Yeah.
out there.
I'm a big wings fan, but it's more the
band.
food. Like I like buffalo wings.
Oh, dude. Favorite chicken wing place?
My you know what? When I was a teenager, I used to get Domino's Pizza and
Yeah,
get their
Wing
wings.
Street.
and
No,
do
Wing Street's Pizza Hut,
Wing
sorry.
Street's Pizza Hut. Yeah, and I would get Domino's wings and dip the pizza in the hot wing sauce.
If you go to Buffalo Wild Wings, do you have a favorite flavor? I'm a
No.
spicy garlic or a Parmesan garlic guy.
I got spicy garlic wings from Little Caesars one time, and it made me want to die.
Dude,
So I haven't done them
everything from
since.
Little Caesars is wrong. Me and my
Yeah,
wife actually
terrible.
did a wing fest one night where we ate Domino's, Pizza Hut, Wingstop, Buffalo Wild Wings. We did like 8 different wing places.
Wingy dingy.
Oh my gosh! And we voted, and the consensus we did.
This is
8.
just you and your wife.
Me and my wife and 2 friends.
Okay.
And we voted, and at the end, everybody put Little Caesars as their last. That was definitely last.
totally
It was like a
believe it.
bonus round, like, oh, Little Caesars.
Now
And we
watch.
should've stopped.
We're probably on the verge of a Little Caesars sponsorship.
I know. They're like, hot and ready. This is about a $5 podcast. That's about the quality that, and we just blew it.
We just blew it.
Sorry, Caesar.
And do you think if this is called Baby I'm Amazed, it's the hit?
Yeah.
You think it would have still been a hit?
It's fine.
I think I love the self-awareness to go because honestly, the maybe lyric makes the song make a little less sense. Like if you're just listening to it, it kind of makes you go, wait, what's he really saying?
Yeah.
But I think it totally works and it taken in context. Basically, the theme of this song is, crap, the Beatles are breaking up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, did you know this song was originally supposed to be on Let It Be?
Yes.
And it got kicked.
And so it's like written in the middle of, crap, I'm in the biggest rock band in the world, and everything is chaos, and we're breaking up, and I don't know what to do, but I've got you, and you know, I mean, it's a really
Why don't you
very,
sing on this song with me? Why don't you sing on
exactly
it?
Sing, but I don't even sing. Oh, come on,
Come
love.
on.
Come on, love. Let's just have a go. So
You're spot on with Paul, like lingo. It's
right?
pretty good.
Well, you know, I only watched the episode of Saturday Night Live with him and Chris Farley
Yeah.
a million times.
Yeah, that's so good.
He's like, oh yeah, I wasn't really dead.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, you remember
That time
Chris
you were in
Farley
the
band? You remember when you were in the Beatles?
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Oh man, did you remember when everybody thought you were dead?
Paul was dead. Paul is dead.
I wasn't really dead. My favorite part of this song is the very last section before they go into the chorus for the last time. There is a note.
Play a little bit of it.
Yeah, let's play a little bit, and you'll hear what I'm talking about. Okay, so that note, that glorious note,
We're not going to try to emulate.
it's insane. I don't even think I could sing an octave below that note. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding when I say every time I hear this song on the radio and it gets to that part, I start to get nervous.
He's not going to get there.
He's not going to get it. Every time I listen, I go, there's no way he hits that
He's
note.
not gonna do it again.
I'm like, I know what he's going to try to do. There's no way he gets there.
Dude, we should watch and see if they do anything live. See if he does it live.
Man, that's impossible. It makes me every time I listen, I feel like I'm on stage and I'm singing this song.
And you know it's coming.
Headed toward a note that I know I just don't have that day. Like you did this once in the studio.
Like you're going to Bon Jovi it, hold the mic stand to the crowd, and gang vocal, living on a prayer.
Yes, exactly.
You're gonna gang
once
vocal,
you hit that key change, you know you just don't have it anymore.
You're gonna look for Richie Sambora to help and hold the mic out to the crowd.
Oh man, every time I get scared for the guy. Like, there's no way you're hitting that note, dude. There's no way. And then, by golly, if every single time he doesn't do it, I think Slash is a great player. His work on November Rain, his tone on November Rain, and some of his stuff on November Rain is among the most beautiful guitar work I've ever heard.
Did you ever listen to Velvet Revolver?
I tried. I gave it the old college try, but I dropped out of college too. So
That's awesome.
on Paradise City, they hit the sort of end of the verse. Come save me one other time. Right, that drum fill happens every time. 2 snare hits. Take me down to the. Okay, the guy rushes it every time. Every time it's rushed. Record with a click or something, bro, because there should be some space there. It should be take it to the end of the line. Take me down to the. But no. Listen to it. I'm telling you,
He's excited.
And it's like, bro, wait a second. Hold on.
Let it build.
Man, there's supposed to be some space here.
Let it build.
Every single time. So literally, it drove me nuts to the point where about a year ago, a little more than that, I guess, I downloaded the song and put it in my recording software and spaced out just those things, just those fills every time. And it was such a rewarding experience to listen to that song where the drummer's actually keeping time and not rushing.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was beautiful. And so I uploaded it as a remix to see if
And
I
just
could get
change
away
that?
with it. And that's the only thing I changed. I uploaded it as a remix for anybody out there who was like me, who that drove insane. And SoundCloud took it down immediately. They were like, no, this is, you know what I mean? You basically just stole their song.
Can you name
know what I
another
mean?
Ted Nugent song other than Cat Scratch Fever?
Oh, yeah.
You can?
Sure, yeah. You've got Wango Tango.
Can you name 2 other songs? I don't. No
I was
offense,
so
Nuge. I'm
confident.
afraid of you. Don't shoot me with a bow and arrow. But I really don't think I did see Ted Nugent shoot a guitar with an arrow. Not up and close, but close enough where I could say I was
In person?
in the vicinity with binoculars.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like, Ted Nugent's over there doing a thing, and I didn't have good enough.
You're just walking down the street?
No, they were like, Ted Nugent's doing a show, and I was with a buddy that had binoculars. Like, I bet we can see him from here. And I pulled out my binoculars, and I saw Ted Nugent shoot a guitar with a bow and arrow.
Well, all right. I mean, they say he's quite good at it.
Yeah, so there you go.
Well, I think he doesn't he. I know his nickname is the Motor City Madman, but I think he also maybe has a song by that title.
Odds are good.
I really feel like I should know more Ted Nugent
Sorry,
songs. If
Nuge.
there should be some readily available. But they're all filthy, so it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter.
He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La, la, la.
Radio almost doesn't matter at all anymore. I guess it does, but
Little
not
bit.
nearly to the degree it did. Video did, in fact, kill the radio star to a great degree. And now I feel like video almost doesn't matter either. What does matter?
Yeah.
What matters anymore?
Podcasts.
Podcasts
matter.
Good call. And this song is loosely based on some of the real people that he met and got to know, and some of the regulars at the executive room. For example, there was really, John at the bar, and he was the bartender who worked during his shift, and he would get him drinks for free. And
Did you look
know,
anything up on him?
on John the bartender?
I did.
No, did you go deep
I did.
research on John?
His name is actually Ian McLean,
Okay.
but drunk people can't say Ian. So they're just like, John. So he became John at the bar. So everybody called him John.
Wow.
But his real name is Ian. Ian McLean.
Ian. Old Ian.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah. Ian. I went to a show at the Ryman that it was supposed to be Marshall Tucker and Charlie Daniels.
Yeah.
Marshall Tucker canceled, so they needed to fill in with somebody. So the last minute, Nashvilleian Phil Vassar stepped up,
Huh.
and the opener was Taylor Swift.
Really?
It was a long time ago. She was just getting started. So picture this: Taylor Swift, then Phil Vassar, then Charlie Daniels. So the crowd was the weirdest crowd I've ever sat beside. I had like a 7-year-old girl to my right and like a 60-year-old drunk man to my left. It was like this
waving a flag.
Yeah, it was like, I'm glad I'm sitting between these two, or this could just be weird. But yeah, Phil Vassar, he was very, very good. Just Another Day in Paradise, Carlene. I'm a Phil Vassar fan. So.
He's not really on my radar.
Yeah,
I'm
I like him.
aware of him, but I didn't count him in trying to account for these covers. I don't want to be crude, but when he dies, the amount of material that they're going to release
Yeah,
is going to be insane.
yeah. And well, I wonder, I'm surprised yet, because I'll be on River of Dreams. I know it's big. I know you probably really like
My
it.
favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, I'm not crazy about that song.
Yeah.
That's one of my least favorite Billy Joel songs.
Yeah. I absolutely adore that album. It's in my top 5 albums of all time.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. It's perfect to me. But and it ends with the song called Famous Last Words. And the
Oh,
chorus of
weird.
that song is, "These are the last words I have to say." And then he's never put out another album.
Wow. Oh, dude, that's
I think
chills.
he did put out one song around the millennium. He put out like a single.
Uh-huh.
But that's it. That's
Wow, I never. That's
all he's done since
That's
1993.
deep. I like
now
that.
he did a classical record.
Sure.
He's toured a
It's
billion
Broadway
times
stuff
with
and-
Elton Joel.
Elton Joel. Sorry, Elton.
Elton Joel and Eric Clapton. And,
Yeah, we know our songs here, guys. Let us tell you. Tim Hendricks, great guitar player. Great guy. That Timmy, he can shred it.
oh man,
It's not about the money, money, money. We don't need your money, money, money. We just want to make the world dance. Forget about the price tag.
so opening day, everybody's gathering toward. They're about to open the gates, right? I get there early. You do too, right? You get-
Absolutely.
yeah. So
Go to batting practice.
Batting practice, catch it all. My thing is not what time does the game start. It's what time do the gates open.
Open,
I want
yes.
to be there then.
Yes.
I want to be there 30 minutes before then. So
I would rather get there early and leave in the 8th then stay.
Oh
Well,
no,
maybe not.
My rules: never leave sporting events, especially baseball games. Never leave baseball games or church early because you never know what's going to happen.
That's true. That's true.
But
Do you leave before encores at concerts?
no.
No. Okay. Good.
What kind of monster?
I didn't.
No.
I know people that do.
Jeez, that's when they usually save their best.
They get out to beat the traffic.
God, no, it is not worth it. I'll sit in the traffic. If I paid $80 to go to a concert, you better believe I'm going to get every ounce of no. No. If you're listening right now and you leave before encores at a concert, please let me know why. I need to know more about your psychology. Send us a message, send us a tweet.
It's got to be a better argument than traffic.
Yeah.
It's got to be one better than that.
Like if I went specifically to see an event, I'm going to see, that's like, no. No.
Anyway, back to first
Like
time you heard
the
this song.
detective in the movie, Sherlock Holmes is about to say who done it. And like, oh, I'm good. It's going to be crowded. Like
go
I
now.
don't want a bottleneck at the front door. So I'm just going to get on out of here. Forget that. No, we can do better. I do love, this song features rapper B.O.B.
Good job, Bobby Ray Simmons Jr.
Whoa.
Kapowie.
Bobby
B.O.
Ray Simmons Jr.
That's a good.
I love finding out people's real names.
Yeah, I know,
I just
right?
love it. My real name is Alfred Mankiewicz. I don't know if
It's
we've
just
got into
Rob
that.
for short.
Yeah, just Rob for short.
Oh, that'll be fun. How many listeners know what the JP and JP stands for?
Okay, all right. Hit us up on Twitter at Great Song Pod.
Mom, you can't answer. Anybody else is welcome to take a gander at what the JP stands for.
What does the JP in JP Mosier stand for? I can't wait
It'll
to hear the responses.
It is not JP, Jaypee. That is not my name. That would be my parents. Don't
If your middle name was P, that would be horrible.
be the worst
like
middle
just
name
the
ever.
body function P.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
So there were
Six?
six top 10 off this album, and I didn't even know they made the top 10.
Wow.
Price tag, Domino, which is a big one, Laser Light, Nobody's Perfect, Who You Are, and Do It Like Dude all hit in the top 10 off of one album, and I probably only knew 3 of them.
I know none of the others.
You'll know Domino if you heard it.
Sing it.
Take me down like Domino.
No.
No? What?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
anyway. There's a Dirty Dancing in the Moonlight.
No.
What?
I told
Okay.
you this is out of my
Okay,
listening.
not our era.
No.
I'm not a Jesse James impersonator, but I thought that would be enough for
Jesse
you to be
James,
like, oh,
the
yeah.
Western?
Jesse J. Did I say Jesse James?
I'm not a Jesse James impersonator, but give me all your money, cowboy.
Right.
He did win the Grammy. Bruce Hornsby and the Range won the Grammy for Best New Artist in 1980. I guess it would have been 1987.
7 for the 86 album.
Yes.
Do you know who he beat out?
I don't.
I do. I have the 3 artists that he beat out.
Ooh, hit me.
Okay. Glass Tiger. Not
Okay.
a clue.
Oh, yeah. No, that was on Punch Out, right? Mike
Oh,
Tyson's
yeah,
Punch
that's
Out.
Glass Joe.
And
And Great Tiger.
a Great
Oh
Tiger.
man, can you name the characters
Whoa.
from Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Yes. I don't know if I can do them in
Let's do
order.
it. Okay.
But there was, Glass Joe.
Glass Joe.
Great Tiger.
Great Tiger was
Piston,
third.
Piston Honda.
Piston Honda was 4th.
Von Kaiser.
Von Kaiser.
Bald Bull.
Hubble, you're killing it.
Soda Popinski.
Soda Popinski. King
Who
Hippo.
else?
You forgot King
Yeah. King Hippo. Don Flamenco.
Don Flamingo.
Yeah?
Yes.
Is that it?
That's and Sandman.
And either Sandman or Mike Tyson, depending on which version you were able to get a hold of. Yeah. That was, I
Did we forget
love.
anybody?
That sounds
right.
Yeah. I don't feel like we're missing anybody.
Macho Man.
Probably
There was a
somebody
Macho
way
Man.
racist. Macho Man.
Wasn't there a Macho Man?
I feel like there was a version where Macho Man was replaced. He was the last bad guy. Like
Yeah.
he was the Mike Tyson replacement. Yeah,
That was fun.
That was a great game. Still
Great
love
game.
it.
Great
I loved
game.
it on regular Nintendo. I loved it on Super Nintendo. I bought it for the Wii when you could buy like old games for the Wii. I've had that 3 different versions of that game.
If you've never played, go out and play Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Great.
Shout out to Mike Tyson.
Okay, so Glass Tiger, they beat them. Simply Red
Yeah.
and New Shoes. NUSHOOZ.
Oh yeah.
Apparently-
Who can forget New
They
Shoes?
just barely edged out New Shoes.
New Shoes. Rolling Stone compiled a list of the 21 strangest Best New Artist Grammy wins.
Okay.
Bruce Hornsby and the Range is given number 8 on the list of 21 strangest best new artist Grammy wins.
What's the one?
By
What's
Rolling
number
Stone.
one? Do you have?
I'm going to read you the entire article. It's a paragraph long. And
Hang with us. It'll be good
And it
stuff.
says like
I wanna
this.
hear
This is what Rolling Stone said about Bruce Hornsby and the Range winning Best New Artist in 1987. Socially conscious piano solos with the drum mix in the red. Talk about 1980s Grammy bait. Bruce Hornsby could have disemboweled Billy Crystal on stage wearing a Home Taping Rules t-shirt and still won this trophy. Nobody is 100% sure what the Range did besides have deep backstage conversations with Hornsby about the Civil Rights Act. Who'd win in a 1980s golf rock fight, the Range or the News? Discuss. Hornsby later joined the Grateful Dead as a keyboardist, which is like volunteering for a combat mission. Respect. And the number one,
drum roll.
according to Rolling Stone, strangest best new artist Grammy win, Jose Feliciano.
Oh, yes.
1968. Feliz that Navidad.
Oh, yes.
In 1968, he beat out Jimi Hendrix
What?
for best new artist.
Holy cow.
And Jimi Hendrix never got a Grammy nomination in his lifetime.
Really?
Never. Got beat out by Jose Feliciano.
Man, he
So-
hates Christmas. I bet.
I mean, that's like, what do you think is a bigger travesty? Hendrix getting beat out by Jose Feliciano for best new artist,
Okay.
or Metallica getting beat for best heavy metal album by Jethro Tull?
Oh, gosh. Ugh.
I mean,
It's a wash.
those are
Yeah.
both pretty egregious.
Yeah. He's frequently on the cover of Piano Monthly,
Yeah.
which was a famous album or a famous magazine subscription you could subscribe to. And I just started looking through some just covers because he's on there a lot. And I was just trying to think of some really, my favorite heading on a Piano Monthly says, learn the harpsichord in 7 days and impress the ladies. That is a great, yes, that's a great Piano Monthly. So if you have that
man.
copy of the Bruce Hornsby Piano Monthly that says learn the harpsichord in 7 days and impress the ladies, that has got to be a collector's
Oh
item.
man, that's actually a little known fact about me, but that's how I met my wife.
Little
I was
harpsichord solo.
I was just minding my own business, playing the harpsichord, and all of a sudden, man, she was just like, "What's up?" And I was like, just get my harpsichord on.
When did you fall in love with me? Was it out of the blue? 'Cause I swear I never knew it. When did you let your heart run free? Have you been waiting long? When did you
A lot of people know him for a song called Cartoons.
Yeah, terrible song.
Which, wow, I mean, like, it's a smart song, it's quirky, but it's like a goofy youth pastor song. And he was a youth pastor, and it was just something he, made up about if cartoons got saved, how would they sing praise to the Lord? And, and then it's a bunch of impressions like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Like, how would Bullwinkle, that was not Bullwinkle at all.
I don't know what character
But
that was.
hallelujah, I can't really do Bullwinkle.
closer.
I guess that's what we've just discovered is I can do a great many impressions, but Bullwinkle is
Bullwinkle's not the top
not
10.
really one of them. This song happens in 1 second. This is a 4-minute song, but in chronological time, it takes place in 1 second of him realizing, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like, she's head over heels in love with me, and it's just dawning on me, and his whole relationship is flashing before his eyes with him and this girl. And he just caught a flash of it, and everything is washing over him. And I just think that's so cool when you can take a song and expand a single moment to 4 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. It's just amazing because that's kind of how it feels in a moment like that. It's like you have some great revelation or something clicks into place, and you get this download all of a sudden, and images and
This
memories.
is the montage moment of the movie.
Exactly.
When you're watching Rocky or whatever. He
Yes.
has all the flashbacks in that one moment.
Yes.
This is that moment for this guy.
That's right.
This is his montage moment.
This is what Daniel-san saw in his head when he's about to go up for the crane kick.
Yes.
He's seeing all of his training leading up
right.
to that moment in one instantaneous
When he
thing.
glances at Miyagi and he gives him the wink.
And he's about to crane kick this girl right in the face with love. This is an amazing song, incredible production. And then in the last 60 seconds, they allow this travesty to happen that every time I hear it tries to pull me away from the beauty of this song.
Play the little section so they can hear what we're talking about.
I don't want to.
Okay, you don't have to listen to it. Never mind.
We're going to take you out a little differently this week because after that minor guitar solo in a major key, I've got to hear something else to cleanse my palate. Some musical ginger, if you will. So, hey, I kind of am a musical ginger. So are you.
I'm a musical ginger.
We're musical
We're the
gingers.
musical gingers on the Great Song Podcast. I'm Ed Sheeran. I'm not Ed Sheeran.
And I'm some other guy. I'm
the other one.
Who's the other musical ginger?
Oh, man.
I'm Ron Cunningham. Opie.
Ron Howard.
Ron Howard.
Ron Cunningham.
Opie Cunningham. Oh gosh, I don't know.
Opie Taylor.
I'm Rick Astley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Play some Rick Astley. To
Musical
see.
gingers.
Who can it be now? Who can it be now? Who can it be now? Who can it be now?
The lyrics came later. He lived near drug dealers at the time, and he was afraid to answer the door.
No kidding.
And he said every time somebody knocked on his door, it was somebody either wanting something from him because he couldn't pay his rent or something, or it was somebody looking for the drug dealers.
Wow.
He was like, so who could it be? I don't want to open the door.
That
Who
answers
can-
lutely all my questions
all the
about
questions
the song.
about what was Rob asked me before, like right before he started. He's like, I think he had a list of something to.
Yeah, I was going to take us down a road of like a list of questions of why does he want to be alone?
And I was like,
why
well,
does he not want to be bothered?
Well, it's because of this, Rob. And he's like, okay, well, you can talk about it.
Lives
You
in
can
a
pick-
drug neighborhood. Okay.
kickstart it.
Well, now, all right. Well, this has been a great episode of.
Thank you for listening.
This is the Great Song Podcast. All right, so album and single, #1 simultaneously in the U.S. Same for Australia, New Zealand, and the U.K. charts. This song like blew up. This album blew up. They've sold 30 million albums worldwide. Men at Work.
That's a lot.
How about it, right? Like I always thought, kind of a kitschy. It's the Australian, like a novelty thing, you know what I mean? But they were
Kind of
legit.
like Gus Polinski, Polka King of the Midwest from Home Alone, like sold about 623 copies. Like that's that
Exactly.
guy. I feel like
Yes.
that's Colin Hay.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. We're all thinking it. Why'd they put the camera right in his face when everybody knows he's got a messed up eye?
Yeah.
Like he's got a real bad, I don't know if you call it a lazy eye. I don't know if that's whatever. I don't know if that's a mean way to call it, but like he has one eye that just looks in kind of the opposite
I
direction.
wonder if they did it to get some notoriety. Like, let's listen to the band with the guy with the eye.
But it's
You
the
know?
Australian guy with the eye.
Australian guy with the eye.
You
Let's
know?
put it up close, and that's yeah.
I mean, they're like, I don't know, but he was not afraid of it. You know, maybe it was just a thing. It was like, man, like he
It
was
makes it look like he's looking around though.
It
Like
does.
who can it be? Like my eyes are going crazy. I'm looking around trying to find out who it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're really nice people, guys.
Man.
I know you think we get on here and just rip people, but we.
he wasn't going for sexy. You know, they weren't going for sexy with that shot. It's an uncomfortably close, and he's just letting that eye just go all over the place. Woo! Well, JP, it's been quite a run.
25 wonderful weeks.
I can't believe we made it.
25.
Looks like we made it.
25.
You guys, thanks so much for listening to
Was that
all
Barry Manilow? Wait a minute.
Shania Twain. Mine was Shania Twain.
Looks like we made it.
Oh,
Barry Manilow.
And mine was looks like we made it.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
wow.
Holy cow.
Look at that.
Only on the Great Song Podcast.
That was like a little bonus mini episode, a micro episode.
Yeah.
All right, we
I'm
can't
surprised
wait.
Barry and Shania didn't show up. They normally do.
Oh, it's
but
true.
that's all right.
What is I can't do either
I
one of
can't do
those.
Barry
Oh well.
Manilow either.
Oh well. We can't wait to see you guys for season 2. We got some fun ideas for season 2. Great, amazing songs coming up. Of course, you know what to expect by now. Only the best. So let's just let our buddy Mark Cohn take us out with some soothing tones as we all reflect on a wonderful season. We'll see you guys for season 2 of the Great Song Podcast.
We're waiting for you.
I'm Rob.
I'm JP.
Just listen to Mark.
Then I'm walking in Memphis, just walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam.